Hello and welcome back to Radioactive Ramblings. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Richard.
And I'm Chase, and today we're going to be covering the first 3 episodes of Invincible's 4th season on Amazon Prime TV.
And I just want to let you all know how to get in contact with us. The first is going to be our email, radioactive@thelorehounds.com. We have a channel set up for Radioactive Ramblings in the Lorehounds Discord server. There's also the contact form, or you could leave us a voicemail at thelorehounds.com. And consider giving us a follow on Blue Sky at Radioactive141. We'd also appreciate a rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever else you listen to us. It helps other people find us.
Yeah, so definitely jump in on that conversation. Especially the Discord is a great place to get involved. There's a dedicated chat for Invincible. There's going to be dedicated chats for the upcoming season of The Boys, which we are going to be covering. Which, speaking of, we have some plans which involve doing Invincible and The Boys every other week. So as soon as those two are happening at the same time, it'll be covering 2 episodes at a time. Alternating weeks. So we've got a lot of content on the way, so make sure you stay tuned. Without further ado, how are you doing, Chase? Welcome back.
Dude, I'm good. I guess things are good and bad, but mostly good. Mostly good. I'm happy to be back. I hope the listeners missed me.
We got over 3,000 emails asking what your problem is and why you're not here.
3,000. Let's fucking
3,000.
go.
It was insane. It's the most emails we've ever gotten about anything.
Yep.
By at least a dozen.
Yeah. By a margin of 1.
Exactly. Richard, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been playing loads and loads of Cyberpunk, and that's it. How about you?
I've been playing some City Skylines too because it was on sale, so I've been catching up on that a little bit and also rereading the first Mistborn novel, which I think we can talk about this at this point that Richard,
Yes.
you,
I saw
me,
John put something in one of the chats, so
yeah,
you might as well.
we might as well. In June, stay tuned because that is when a brand new podcast with me, Richard, and John from the Lorehounds is going to be dropping covering the Cosmere books. So that's another little bit of content to look forward to. It'll be a separate feed and everything. So as we get closer to that, you'll hear a lot more about that on our feed and on the Lorehounds main feed. And then you'll be able to find us over on our new Cosmere show.
We are excited to start that. We've already done some stuff behind the scenes, but we just want to kind of get ahead of it before we start releasing stuff for it.
Yeah, we'll have a pretty good back catalog to release every week, which is a good thing because these books are massive. But we should get into the first 3 episodes of Invincible because these were some pretty incredible reintroductions back into the series. I thought they were pretty good. How did you guys feel overall, vibe check?
I mean, I loved it. I think that these 3 episodes had a really strong start for the season. And I have something I want to talk about later after we go over the stuff a little bit more. I sent you a TikTok about it earlier today, Aaron.
Okay, so now I do know what you're going to bring up now, so I'm excited. And I agree with that point. So I guess, Richard, how are you feeling? And then we'll go straight into the spoiler stuff.
I felt pretty good. I mean, before we do get into anything story based, I do want to talk about at the start of the season, which they've been doing the last couple seasons. I like getting the montage with, they always flex a banger on us. I don't remember what the song was, so maybe I shouldn't say banger, but it was really fitting, probably.
Yeah, I think the music has always been a really strong part of this. All right, and so I think that is going to be our official spoiler warning for the first 3 episodes of season 4. Anything from the past 3 seasons is fair game as well. Of course, I would not expect anyone to be listening in or watching the 4th season without watching the past 3, so should not be a problem. I would also like to say that we're going to give spoilers for whenever we talk about comic stuff. It won't be super often because Chase is the only one of us who has actually read the comics, but
Richard
if we
knows
do
a little
decide
bit.
to,
I think Richard knows like some more overarching stuff, not like minute details.
Yeah, I
But
know
if I
overarching, and then
sorry.
there's one thing in this first 3 episodes that I'm
Yeah.
going to mention, but
Yeah.
we'll get to that.
But for most of the comic spoilers that I'm gonna give, they're going to be like concurrent, like with the episode I'm talking about. Like if I do give a comic spoiler that is like about something that happens in the future of the series, I will give ample warning, and I'll like I'll try and keep it from like major like spoiler stuff, like more minor stuff.
awesome. Yeah. And that brings us into the first story arc that I think we should talk about, which is our main character, Invincible. Mark is in a pretty dark place in these 3 episodes, and we kind of left him off that way last season. He's got a lot of struggles with murder. Not even murder. I would say he struggles with killing a lot in this season. But Chase, what did you think about Mark's turn for the worse?
Okay. To everyone listening at home, I do want to say that we did try and film the podcast earlier, but my internet was like really crappy, so we like had to we're trying again today. So now that I that brings context to what I'm about to say. Now that I've had time to like really rethink about what we were talking about last time, um I kind of like think that Mark and Eve, we'll get to Eve later, but had like the weakest writing for these 3 episodes. Um and I think because like I don't know. I at first I was like I tried to chalk it up all to just like Mark PTSD, like oh all the people that I could have saved if I just like was more decisive in my actions. And like there is definitely an element to that, and you definitely have to be like if you were in his shoes you probably feel like a certain similar way. But at the same time I do think that like with Dinosaurus, he definitely took it a little too, like, not even a little, a lot too far. Like, he already had dude apprehended, and it's not like he took him out pretty handily. I don't think there was a danger that he was gonna like break out and cause like a mass killing again or whatever. You know, it did, or at least that's not how it's portrayed in the show, in my opinion.
I just want to, before we continue, like, but once the dude transformed, all he should have had to say was like, I'm not in control when I transform, and Mark should have, like, season 1 Mark would have let go of him, no problem.
Well, it's not even like let go. Like, it's fine if he wants to keep him in the chokehold, but he doesn't have to like because like it is true he could just transform into a dangerous dinosaur that could like one tap the average person. um
True.
but like trying to go farther than that is just like what are we doing? Like he's essentially incapacitated at this point.
Yeah,
um
Marky Mark, what are we doing, boy?
and I
Yeah,
do agree with Mark's decision with Russ. I know that like it's portrayed in a way that it's like we really don't know if the shield would have held or not, but it's like exactly. If you didn't know if the shield was going to hold or not, and like if that breaks, like humans are like really actually like at threat of them being wiped out, I think he made the right decision, you know?
Yeah, and who's to say, even if the shield did hold up, one of the heroes that was there could have gotten infected by a sequid. There's like
Yeah.
4 other possibilities if the shield held up that would still lead to humanity going bye bye.
I was just happy to see Mark finally end the sequids. If I have to see this C plot line continued into another season of Invincible, I'm gonna scream.
No,
I
yeah,
can't
Yeah,
the
take it.
sequids definitely are a weak point for the show. I can't lie, or not the
yeah,
show, just the series in general. But to be fair, like with all long-standing series, there do have to be C plot lines. It is like the way that they're adapting it though, with like the 8 episode seasons. It does feel like they could just cut a lot of the C plot lines and just stay with the main story and give us more of that instead of dedicating whole episodes to shit that no one gives a fuck about.
Especially because there's some C plots that are so interesting, like the stuff happening with Titan and Mr. Liu and Robot Face. God, I can't remember his actual name at the moment.
Machine
But
Head.
that, thank you, Machine Head.
Well, like even
That
like the
story is so
small
interesting.
insights into like Nolan's like rediscovering the stuff that is deadly or like can harm Viltrumites. Even when I was reading the comics, I was like, wow, like I love it. Like this stuff is cool. Aside from progressing Nolan's character arc and that like just the like seeing other planets and other aliens is so cool rather than just like, oh, let's go back to the sequids who have no like character whatsoever, no story whatsoever.
Yeah, and also it makes the Viltrumite Empire kind of more like it fleshes it out more because they know that they're not immortal, they're not invincible, whatever. Immortal mentioned, he's so peak. Um,
Shut
but
up.
yeah, I had to. Um, it adds to the thing that like they're not just strong; they're also pretty tactical. They know that they have to deal with these threats in horrible ways. Obviously, I mean, freezing the Ragnar's entire planet and the other two planets in the system was obviously messed up. Um, Space Racer was just under a pile of rocks for 100 years, but just horrible. Like there's all sorts. It just adds a more like threatening side to them, I guess, on top of the universal domination thing.
Yeah, and speaking of that whole plot line with Space Racer, I just think it was so interesting how it threw him off guard that Nolan was actually apologizing. Like, this guy has fought the Viltrumites probably for more of his life than not. And you have this committer of genocides, destroyer of worlds coming up to you and saying, "My bad. I didn't mean it. It was another me. It was me at
Yeah,
another time." And that just throws him off so much with yeah, that's exactly the reaction that I would have and most people would have is you're sorry? Like I guess that's
Well, you gotta
it's
think
better
too,
than
like
not.
Nolan is basically the second defector ever of his race.
yeah,
Like of quite like billions upon billions of Viltrumites. He's the second one to ever defect from the like the Viltrumite like war path.
Yeah, and he's still got one foot in the cause. He
Yeah,
still is
exactly.
kind of grappling with how he's supposed to do all of this. And I think that the main thing that's tripping him up now is the fact that he grew up with all of this propaganda about the betrayer. And so I think that he's trying to deprogram himself and he's making slower progress than I think the universe needs from him.
yeah. But sometimes a hypocrite is just a man in the process of changing or something, right?
Or
This is
something.
true. I also really enjoyed that Donald defended Invincible's actions during the whole Sequid invasion. I think that he understood what was happening. I think Cecil understands it too, but he does have to be really cautious of
Well, because
Mark.
Donald is just always standing on business. You know,
Oh
like
my god, yeah, he is our goat. Everyone with
Debbie is our goat.
no,
Donald
no,
is
no, no,
our
no, no, no,
goat
no, no, no.
junior.
They're both goats. I think we just have a rule about people whose name starts with a D at this point.
I'm
What?
trying to think of a bad
Yeah,
Invincible.
And
I'm
there's
trying.
none. And there's none because Donald, Debbie, other characters are scared to have a name starting with D.
Bro, enough. Enough, bro.
Let's talk a little bit about
Bro,
Adam
Richard
Eve.
talking is like a filler arc, bro, I swear.
Fuck you. Before we go to Adam Eve though, Cecil's reaction to him killing Russ, we should maybe touch on that.
Yeah, what did you think about that? That was a pretty big moment in these 3 episodes.
Yeah, I really want Cecil and Mark to figure their shit out at some point soon. And Mark is being more open to like taking orders from Cecil and such here and there. But I really like they gotta lock in if they want to destroy the biggest, well, I guess not biggest anymore, but big evil space empire.
I don't think either of them grasps at this moment what is to come. Like they don't understand that the Viltrumites are like really coming to do them in, or like trying to like because
Yeah,
Cecil is like, oh shit, there's more of these guys, right? He doesn't know like what's going on besides
yeah,
like that. Mark doesn't either really. Like I think at this point Mark is like he had that fight right with his dad and the other Viltrumites on I forget the name of the
Rexa.
planet. Yeah, Thraxa. And like he's like, "Oh, this is cooked." He doesn't even know the half of it, Like like he's like, "I just got to get stronger so I can like fight off conquest again or whatever."
Yeah,
Like,
which I have a few things about that too. Conquest.
well, like he
I,
doesn't know
I
about but what I mean is like he's like he that's probably his bar right now is like
yeah, yeah,
conquest
yeah.
is like the strongest being that he's witnessed at this point.
Yeah, I was more talking about though. I hope this season, like I'm sure we'll see it, that Mark finds out Conquest is alive, and then he and Cecil make this their final argument so that they can finally realize that they need to band together if they're going to take on the rest of the Viltrumite Empire.
Bro, you think Cecil is telling Mark Conquest is alive?
Yeah, that's not happening.
It's
Mark
gotta
is
happen.
Mark is going to find out. Cecil is not going to give that information freely.
I thought they were going to change that part of the show because in the comics, Cecil is like way more incompetent than he is in the show.
Really? I'm glad he's not in the show.
In the show, he's like with the resources he has, and like the power level of the people in his tool belt he has, like I think he does quite a good job, I'm not going to lie. But in the comics, he just be like blundering.
Eh, I like that change. I think that it's really satisfying to see people be good at their job in TV and movies sometimes. Not everyone. Some people need to be a little bit bad at their job for the story, but there's just something about seeing someone like Cecil be so organized that makes it so much more enjoyable. I would not care about Cecil whatsoever if he was bad at what he does.
Yeah. Also, like, we all have that one coworker that just sucks. So it's nice to see to see like that not happen, I guess.
Cecil's coworker that sucks is D.A. Sinclair.
Shit, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. The D in his
That guy
name.
comes to work smelling like straight booty, bro. I bet.
So let's talk a little bit about Adam Eve. I want to start off with this family dinner. Richard, would you have taken an extra helping of green beans?
Oh my god, dude, Betsy's green beans were looking so good. I keep seeing the it's like the boys memes when that was coming out with Party in the USA playing, and it's Betsy's green beans now instead of Butcher's shirt and Mother's Milk shirt.
I feel really bad for Betsy. I think that she says as much in the episode, but she was like, someday you're going to settle for someone that you don't like that much and it'll all be okay. And that's what your life should be. And I just
What a
feel bad for
horrible,
her.
yeah, what a horrible outlook on life.
Yeah.
Like, fill your life with joy and whimsy, perhaps.
I mean, that's kind of probably what your mental state is like after being married to that piece of shit for that
Oh my
long.
god, I know he's horrible. Let's talk about Mr. Wilkins. I forgot their last name for a minute.
Mr. Adam Eve.
Don't call him that. Don't call him that, bro.
So his talk with Mark was pretty bad. You know, obviously every scene with him is really bad, but the scene in the comics is so much worse. I don't know too much, but like it's horrifying. Chase, what you got?
Yeah, in the comics, he just says some actually deplorable crap. Like, he's talking about how, like, you can tell if a woman is a virgin or not, and, like, how they're less desirable if they're not a virgin. It's just disgusting. It's really awful. I'm actually very glad they didn't include it. I don't think it really, like, his character is already, like, unlikable in every way that it's like it's not really adding anything to the story. It's just like, oh, he's even more of a asshole.
Yeah,
Like,
it just becomes like How much can we exaggerate how horrible this guy is and how much he should be put down? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
it gets to a
at
point.
the same time though, it's like kind of weird though, because like they changed his dialogue to be like something that's like kind of like, wait, low key facts, or not like the whole
Yeah.
thing, but like she's my daughter and like I care about her, so like when she's in danger, I'm worried, and she's in danger more often now that she's like involved with you. That part of the message is true, but
Yeah.
it's definitely
Like,
right message, wrong messenger, because it's
yeah, like as a parent,
like do
you
you
should be
really
worried about your
care?
kid.
Do you really care though? Because like all your other actions demonstrate you don't give a flying fuck. So I mean,
Yeah, I wonder if maybe they're gonna change his, because I don't know anything about like what happens with his character further. This is the last panel chronologically I've seen of him, but I wonder if maybe they're gonna try and make him a better, like come out better later
I
on.
guess
I
because
don't.
like now that they've removed that dialogue, I guess like it is possible for him to have redemption.
Yeah,
But in the comics after that, it's like, bro, it's curtains for you. Saying that about your daughter, bro.
the dad, he's getting the rush treatment. Just donut
I
that
always
guy.
thought it was weird though in the comics too, because like Mark is just letting that shit fly when he's saying
Yeah,
that shit, and it's just like, bro, that's your girlfriend. Like, I get that's her dad, but like you're also adult. Like you and Eve are adults living set. Like she's not dependent. You can
yeah.
stand up for her.
And Mark, why you gotta go all trigger happy on some random astronaut and you can't kill this dude for being like a
Okay,
piece of
well,
shit?
okay, that's a little. I don't know.
No, no, it's horrible. I know.
I don't know if we need a red mist him, bro, but like.
Okay, I do want to talk about Mark and his whole thing. I meant to bring this up earlier, but I don't quite know what the show is trying to say about him with this because every time he has one of his dark moments where he almost kills someone, this guy is essentially like
I mean,
crying
he did
about it 5
have like
minutes
the
later, which
like
is
panic
understandable. He
attack
doesn't want to
after
kill innocent people.
killing Russ.
That he should feel negatively. No, yeah, but the thing that doesn't quite make sense is that he's making these decisions to almost kill people in the heat of the moment and like being afraid about it or upset about it. And part of me wonders, are they trying to do something with like it's his Viltrumite DNA that's pushing him towards this and he's trying to fight against his nature? Or is he just in a dark place and trying to fight against that?
Do you want me to clarify it from
You don't have
comics
to
at
give me
least?
the comics answer, but I just think that that's like an interesting thing.
Yeah, something, an interesting talking point for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna just say something really quick, and it's not like a spoiler. It's just like I'm just gonna say something really quick. The aggression is not built into Viltrumite DNA. Yeah, yeah, it's just a writing choice.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay. All right. Now that we're done with my Mark side tangent, Eve is losing her powers. That's a pretty big deal. She's got this whole atomic sludge thing going on. She tries to get help from Rudy before he gets plucked into another dimension. First of all, fuck Rudy. Second of all,
Dude, his name's Rex. He stole his homeboy's name. You got to put some respect on that.
there's nothing that could make me respect Rudy or Rex or
Well,
whatever
Rudy's just
robot is calling
is just
himself.
always on some straight weirdo shit, bro. Like,
I I feel like he's gonna be on some even worse weirdo shit when they come back. He's gonna be older.
Yeah.
that wouldn't be weirdo shit. That would be like, oh, that's actually appropriate.
No, no, I mean,
You're an adult in your adult body now, instead of like being an adult and being like, what if I put myself in a kid body, bro?
no, 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 no. That part of it, him being like an adult, I'm assuming, is gonna be great. I'm saying he's gonna be on some weird shit regardless, though. It's what he does.
Oh, I mean, yeah, he's always on some weird shit.
Yeah, it really healed something inside of me to see Cecil shut down his attempt to rule the Guardians like in a half a second.
Yeah.
I like Brit is his name, right?
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He doesn't really he doesn't really have anything going for him outside of being on the Guardians. Like he's not a real character. He's just kind of there to be a prop. But
Yeah.
I think he's a cool guy. Jonathan Banks is of
I,
course a badass.
I just want him to call someone Walter. You know, that's it. That's what I want from him.
It's funny. This is like the first thing I've seen him in or heard him in outside of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul.
Really, I feel like he's been in stuff. Uh, he's in
Yeah, you
movies.
can't think of it, can
He's
you?
in movies and shows. It's just like I feel like he's one of those characters who's like usually kind of more of a side character.
I think Brit
I
is
don't
cool and
know.
all, but I don't like the like whole like military, like you do what you're told and you don't like there's no room for improvisation. Like what are we talking about,
Yeah,
dude?
just following orders has never been a good mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
Historically,
I will give him a little bit of credit because during the Flaxan invasion, which Flaxa, Thraxa, so many axes. But during the whole like Flaxan invasion, Brit did go and deviate from Cecil's orders to do what he thought was the right thing. So I got to give him a little bit of credit there. He's not a complete like
Nah, that's a
bootlicker
whole
robot.
rules for thee, not for me mentality, though. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? Like, bro's chewing Rudy out for legit, like, eliminating the threat and not getting himself cooked, and then not to be a Rudy sympathizer, but then, like, the next mission, he's like, nah, fuck listening to my superiors, bro. Like, what kind of behavior is that, man?
he's got good situational awareness sometimes. Or you could take it as he's taking a page out of Rudy's book after Rudy did that and it worked.
It's a
No.
great point.
Okay, see, someone agrees with me. Thank God.
I do want to go back to the Eve losing her powers thing because
Yeah.
it seems like they're implying that her being pregnant is like probably the cause behind it. I don't know why else they would have
Why do
these
you
two
think
things
she's
happening at the
pregnant?
same time. She has a positive pregnancy test at the end of episode 3.
Yeah.
Wait, really? I didn't see that.
It was like the
I thought
post
they didn't show it
credit
yet. I
thing.
didn't want to spoil anything.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. They showed it at the very end.
Okay, my
Eve like
bad, my
gets up.
bad.
Yeah, so she's pregnant. Her powers aren't working. Those two things seem like they're probably connected. I don't know. It could be a red herring, but that's the theory I'm sticking to.
Yeah, I'm with Aaron on this one. I don't think there's no other reason other than like maybe her mental state being a little weird with what Mark's going through and her parents, I guess. But she's been dealing with that, so it's
I
kind of
think
like
we. Sorry, this is a little bit of a tangent, not really directly connected. I think we talked about this a little bit last season when we were like, why doesn't Eve use her powers more creatively? And because it was like the writer was like, oh yeah, I made her powers too good and I'm not creative enough to like incorporate them properly into the story. And like I always kind of just thought of like this moment as like a cop out for him to like not have to do her powers.
He gets a little break, a little vacation from
Because
Eve.
it's like low key if I was a writer, it'd be so hard to like model a villain that just doesn't lose to the person who can create like any particle at will, you know, like could
yeah.
do anything basically.
I would rather just retcon it and be like, oh, she can't create anything at will. She has to.
Well, like he already did like out of nowhere in the series be like, "Oh yeah, she has that mental block that makes it so she can't do anything at will."
The mental
Oh
block.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is a big cop out right
Yeah,
there.
right? Like come on, dude.
Even if it was just like there was a device implanted into her that no one could pick up or something until like later in the series, that would be fine. I don't know.
Yeah, that would have been better at least in my opinion than oh wait, nah, I'm my mental block is making it so I can't do this.
Well, even if she doesn't know how to make a second Earth with her powers, she does know how to make some money off of Invincible Ink, which seems to be doing pretty well.
I also thought of this as like a weird point in the series because it was like, what do you mean you're donating it all? Don't you have your own place? How are you paying for that?
Yeah, I thought the whole point of them having Invincible Ink was to make money for an apartment or a house.
And it's like doing good deeds for money is, at least in my opinion, not bad. Like people do bad things for money all the time, bro. Like going and like stopping world threatening things and then being paid for it is not ridiculous.
Yeah, and I'm sure that they make good money off of it, so they can still donate
Yeah,
and just
exactly. They can
save some
donate
of it.
like 90% of the proceeds or whatever, and it would still be like, oh wow, this is very charitable. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do have to say, I think everyone who is a customer of Invincible Ink is the biggest chump in the world because Invincible would show up whether you're paying him or not. Like, this guy, he does not care. If he hears there's something going down, he's running after you anyways. So, if that little monthly fee is not doing a whole lot.
The whole thing was like you get priority on where he
Right.
goes.
It's guaranteed that you're gonna have someone.
Without Invincible Ink, Invincible's showing up after like half the office building is like collapsed and like people are like hundreds are dead, right? But like with Invincible Ink, he's showing up after like one floor of the building is killed.
Yeah, and he probably tries to keep the collateral to a minimum, which he normally does already, but I don't know, maybe he's slightly more motivated.
That's a great point. I think with that, let's take a quick break and then we will talk a little bit more about the Viltrumite War and the Guardians and all of that stuff. We will be right back. All right, and we are back, and we are going to jump right into the Viltrumite War with the Coalition of Planets. Jace, how do you feel about Alan and Nolan having a little buddy cop adventure through space?
Dude, Alan and Nolan, the GOAT duo. Come on. I mean, like, I sent this TikTok to Aaron today, so not to take credit for the idea, but it was another person watching Invincible talking about the show, and they were saying that every moment that Nolan is on screen is just like pure entertainment because his character arc is so good and he's so well written. And I think it's like kind of true that, for lack of better terminology, he character mogs everyone else in this in the show because he is, not to say that anyone else is like poorly written, you know, but he is written so like to a different degree than the other characters because every time he's directly involved in what's going on screen or on the page, it's like this is genuinely very interesting. I am enjoying every second of it.
I think it's because he's so well rounded, you know? Like he's got emotional depth to him. He also will punch the shit out of something. I mean, he's smart. He is trying to make up for what he's done. The whole redemption arc. Everyone loves a redemption arc. I think every part of his character just works really, really well. And, the summation of that is the most entertaining.
Yeah, I'm surprised with how much I've grown to like Alan the Alien. When they first introduced him, I was like, oh, great, Seth Rogen. I'm not a big Seth Rogen fan,
Yeah,
but
me
I was a
neither.
little like,
I'm not gonna. What the fuck? That was kind of an uncanny impression. Holy shit! I can't
that was
lie.
good.
No, when I originally heard Seth Rogen as his voice, when I watched season one, because like back then I didn't like look into the cast before watching the show. I just watched the show. I was like, damn, low key disappointing. Not any happier with it at this point in time, but life is life and you get on with it. Yeah, when I read the comics, I didn't envision Seth Rogen for his character voice. I still think don't love it, but I do like Alan as a character very much, so it's kind of like the balance to it.
Yeah, speaking of Alan, I have to get something off my chest.
I think I'm about
I
to agree with you on this.
I I think that all of the sex jokes that they've rammed into this season in which have all essentially been the exact same joke retold 15 times got old really fast.
Yeah, I think the first two times that they showed Nolan like clamping the pillow around his head was like haha funny, and then when it was like every 30 seconds, it was like, bro, come on. Haha, haha, I'm 8 years old again, or whatever.
I'm 4 years old.
Also, I thought what was more annoying was the Debbie and Paul one. Because it
Oh,
was
I
like,
was including that
yeah,
in
no,
my
no.
hatred as
I
well.
know, I know you were, but I think that one was even more egregious because it's like Debbie is like this character who's like
Our
so
goat.
well written, always has great dialogue, and then it's like Oliver finds it funny. Oliver finds it fun like four times in a row, and it's like, shut up. You're pissing me off. You're actually pissing me the fuck off. This is like an enjoyable part of the series. Like, this is a very human part of the series where Debbie and Paul are like developing their relationship and discussing like where to go next with it. And it's like Debbie's just like, don't worry about the sex part because Oliver thinks it's funny. The other thing that like low key pissed me off and was like, this is just actually some weirdo is writing this part of the show because what the fuck, what, or like this part of the series was because when Oliver was like, don't worry, Mark, you and Eve are almost as loud or whatever, or some shit like that. I was like, what kind of like,
Yeah,
that is such
that's
a
weird.
weird thing to be like, oh, this is gonna be such a laugh. It's like, that is weird. Like,
Yeah, I I'm all for like being open and very like don't stigmatize, but also you don't need to hear what's happening in the room next to you. Like we don't need to all be aware of what everyone is doing at all times. We don't need That's at least my thought on the subject. Which speaking of Oliver,
How
poor
much does
Oliver
the
just
job pay?
well, yeah, how much does this job pay? But also, let the poor boy play his Game Boy. Let him play his Pokemon, man. Like, he needs a break sometimes.
Yeah, brain nourishment.
Exactly. I do. I feel really bad for him. He didn't want any of this.
Oh, okay, that's not true. He did want to run the fade with Conquest, and then it didn't go so well. But he was ready. He was hyped even.
Richard, if you had to spend a week on board the Venture, would you feel safe?
Uh, no, not with that captain.
You don't think he deserves, like, some sort of recognition, maybe a promotion?
I mean, no.
He got them from point A to point B.
That's his job. That's like that's not even the bare minimum because he ran into an asteroid field the one time.
ran into it or cleared the way.
Exactly.
You are not trying to get me to sympathize with that fucking guy, all right?
He just has such a jovial attitude, and when you come at life with an attitude like that, there's just no way that you can lose.
I will show you a jovial attitude. I'm going to be whimsical and joyous and happy for the rest of my life now, all right? And that guy couldn't even be as joyous as me.
Would you be joyous if everyone you've ever known died to the Scourge virus?
I'd look on the bright side and say, you know what? I'm still alive. But I'd mourn everyone around me because obviously that'd be horrifying.
I was a big fan of the Nolan flashback scene on Viltrum. I thought that was really cool. I thought it was really well done. I don't recall who played young Nolan, but it is someone who's fairly like well known in the acting and the voice acting world. So cool to see that.
Yeah, I also really liked I know I think I mentioned it when we recorded the or tried recording the last time. The visual of the Viltrumite corpses, the billions of them all floating out in space was just insane. And then they have the ring around the planet. Like,
Yeah,
what?
was that not fire?
No, it was fire. Like that's metal as fuck. But everything else around it was so well represented, like the scale of this genocide. Like it is insane to see and tragic, even though they are horrible because they don't have to be. They could just be better and not evil.
Yeah, and I love the point that they make in these episodes where they tell Omni-Man, like, your people underwent the same thing that you guys did to pretty much everyone you ever came in contact with. And you could have
And then
taken
you
that
kept doing
opportunity.
it.
Yeah, you could have taken that opportunity and like looked inward a little bit, thought about it, been like, damn, that kind of sucks. But no, you were just like, well, there's only 50 of us left, so we better get to work. It's going to be a lot harder now.
It's crazy to think too, also, because like before the Scourge virus, they're probably sending like groups of Viltrumites to planets. And now it's like they
Mm.
send like one to each planet, you know? But
Yeah.
imagine like the scale at which like 5 Viltrumites show up to the planet. Like you're
I mean, even
donezo.
3 would be enough. We saw on Thraxa, those 3 were deadly as hell. They outclassed Alan, or they outclassed. Well, they did outclass Alan. And then also Mark
No, they
and
didn't.
Omni
Remember,
Man.
Alan let them cook him so
No,
he
no, no.
could.
But they beat him his ass the
Oh
first
well,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, now he's big and buff. But
Oh, Alan.
yeah, no, you're right. Like seeing 5 Viltrumites destroy a planet. I'm assuming they're done in like 2 days, maybe.
I don't
Yeah,
even
if it
know if
even
it would
takes
take
that.
them more than a day.
Yeah, I mean they're insane.
Yeah. And we get a little bit of info that this virus was engineered by the Betrayer, aka Thetis. The whole Thetis Betrayer reveal, I didn't feel a whole lot from that. I think that was more for Nolan than it was for us as an audience because the lore of the Betrayer really hasn't been a big thing in the series. It's kind of, they've hinted at it a few times. They've mentioned the Betrayer, but it wasn't anything crazy.
It's been a while since I read the comic, so I don't know if they're going to go into more detail about Thetis and Argol or like what happened, but in the comics they had like a little more detail about like how Thetis killed Argol. If
Right.
you guys are interested.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess how they play it out. But the other thing I will say is that like on our side of things, I just kind of assumed Thetis was because he already went against the Empire, and then I kind of figured that he also engineered the Scourge virus because he went against the Empire. Like it. To me, it just all points back to this, or pointed back to the same guy before we got the reveal.
I was kind of surprised that he's the one who engineered the virus. I didn't think that it would have been something that was engineered. I thought that maybe it was just a freak natural event, but it was interesting to see that. I think it works a lot better as this engineered thing. And it gives Nolan a lot of reasons to hate Thetis if he didn't already have a whole bunch before, which I hope they don't linger on that
What do you mean? He
tension.
got rid of his abusive parents.
That's true. Well, okay. I think that Nolan's father seemed to have just a sliver of empathy.
Bro.
He didn't kill his son.
Just cause he stopped his mom from murking him doesn't bro was still putting belt to ass on his son, dude. Like
That's like the equivalent of a kiss on the cheek in Viltrumite society. It's just like an innocent, harmless little, parent-child beatdown.
I mean, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I had one other thing about the Viltrumites that I wanted to discuss because it really is just so dumb. Mustaches being the way to like differentiate for the men, I guess, that they're a Viltrumite. Like what?
it's not actually.
I don't. They kept bringing it up like it was like the one
What do you mean
identifying
kept
trait.
bringing it up? They
I'm
brought it
also
up
confused.
once,
They
dude.
brought it up a few times, didn't they? Like
No,
the
they brought
beard
it up.
pole, the
They
beard pole thing being what
they
revealed
brought up
Thetis.
the beard pull once.
No, and then there were like the guards outside the thing.
That's different. It's because the mustache is an all-encompassing like sign of because it's like Japanese warriors had like ponytails because they wouldn't cut their hair because it was like a like sign of your honor. In like Viltrumite tradition, they all had the mustaches because Argol had the mustache.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
Okay.
So they're copying his drip.
Yeah, in honor of their dearly departed dictator.
Yeah.
Okay.
The beard pull isn't like, oh, it's easy for like Viltrumites to pull their beard off or
No.
whatever.
That's not what I meant. I meant like that being the differentiating factor just seemed kind of goofy.
Well, because it's
I
just
don't
like
know.
every other race probably isn't rocking that style. Like every person in that race is not rocking that mustache, you know?
The Flaxens, much like the sequids, feel kind of off to me. It's one of those recurring plot lines that I don't really care about and that just keeps on coming back. Although I think this is only the second time we've seen the Flaxens,
Yeah.
so it's not as egregious, but still, they're not characters. They're not real villains. They're just these mindless drones that show up and start putting people in chains,
Yeah.
and they need to be stopped.
They will serve, I'm assuming, as like a good thing though for Monster Girl and Robot to become adults. Because it is a little weird that they're like children and they're doing all this. So I guess that's like the bright side, and then I guess Robot will discover some crazy tech, maybe.
Yeah, if Robot comes back and is halfway not as creepy as he is now, I'll jump for joy.
Yeah.
If you jump for joy, you have to record it and put it on the Patreon.
Whoa! Why on the Patreon? Put it in the Discord for free.
I'll put it behind a $20 jumping for joy fee paywall.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
You don't get to see me joyful for free. I'm a hater for free.
Yeah, we know.
This whole Monster Girl and Robot thing going missing, I'm a little bit sad that Monster Girl is gone. I like her a lot more than I like Rudy.
Really? I thought they were both kind of insufferable.
Really, I don't have a problem with Monster Girl. I think she's pretty all right in my
You're not
book.
hating to your fullest potential, dude. What?
I don't know. I thought she was just like kind of a flat character and was like, oh well.
Yeah, she hasn't really done a whole lot since Rudy figured out her power.
Her powers are cool, but like she also just like does nothing. Like whenever the Guardians are fighting, it's like you'd think Monster Girl with like her super strength would be able to do more. Just no.
Yeah, I just feel like everyone, or maybe not everyone, but most of the heroes that she's with also have super strength. So even then, it's like, all right, we got one more person that can punch hard. Yay!
I don't appreciate that everyone's powers get like thrown out the window whenever it's convenient for the story. Like Alan and Nolan when they were on the planet full of the Viltrumite eating dinosaurs or whatever they were. Those two should have been able to fly off the planet in like 3 seconds.
No, it's because there was more
but the gravity is higher. But the gravity is higher. I don't care. They should have been able to get out of there whether the gravity was higher or not, man.
I mean, like I do agree with that, but I'm pretty sure the gravity is like hundreds of times like.
There's still though like two of the strongest beings that we've seen. You know, like the Ragnars, if they get reintroduced, if they
The
become
Ragnars are really strong. Like really strong.
they better fight like it, because if everything if the gravity on the planet is that bad, then these things gotta be that strong, or what the heck, you know, like it needs to stay consistent.
Speaking of the Viltrumites, we didn't mention that the Grand Regent Thrag, right?
yeah.
Thrag is his name. Yeah, Grand Regent Thrag. We finally saw a little bit more of him. We've had him teased a couple of times throughout the series, but we've never gotten like full-on interactions with him. And he is voiced by Lee Pace, which is pretty cool. Another great celebrity addition to this cast.
I actually like his voice for him.
I do too. I think Lee Pace has a very regal voice. He's good at playing like rulers. He does a really good job in Foundation. He does a really good job in the Hobbit movies, for however you may or may not like those movies. I think that Lee Pace's performance
I think
is
he
pretty
does
good
good as Thranduil.
Aaron,
yeah.
Tolkien jar.
Fuck. I'll put another $1 in the Tolkien jar.
And then I get all the dollars in the jar.
I don't know where that money goes.
Chase and I are splitting it.
I'm not splitting shit with you.
Oh, I can have it all? Okay.
All right. What were you saying, Aaron?
I was just saying that I'm excited to see more of him. He seems like a really interesting character. He seems like a good final villain of the series, maybe, or at least of the Viltrumite plot lines. I don't know how far this goes.
There's gonna be a lot of seasons, I think. At least like 3 more.
Okay. So we've got a lot
Because
left.
they are going at a snail's pace, dude. Eight episodes a season is unacceptable for a long series. This is not a short series,
No,
please.
no, 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 no. 8 episodes a season is just unacceptable. It's so awful. It's an awful.
It's awful. They have a terrible schedule too.
No, I'm saying in general, 8 episodes. Like why does every show on every service have to be? Oh, we're making it 8 1-hour episodes. Yep, that's all we're gonna do. I remember when back in my day, shows were 24 episodes, 30 minutes ish an episode, maybe 45, and you watched your filler slop. All right. Yeah, and they only have 10 animators. I'm not saying for the record that it is on the animators.
I'm not an Invincible animation hater. I don't mind the art style, but there's no way it takes you a whole calendar year to make 8 episodes. I'm sorry, it's not real.
It does, but that's only because Amazon is like, all right, we're gonna hire 10 animators and pay them like shit.
Yeah,
Here
that
we
is
go.
true.
I am impressed that they got out this season almost exactly a year after the last
Yeah,
one
didn't the
because
last one have a freaking hella long hiatus?
yeah, the last one.
Or no, the hiatus was season 2.
You're right. You're right. Season 2, where they released it in 2 parts or something. I don't know. I'm just glad that they figured out how to get a full season of television out in a year.
Don't worry, there's only 8 episodes, but there's also ads.
Oh my god. Do you want a brisk iced tea?
Mark, they stole your colors.
I thought it was not to talk about the ads like they're a part of the show, but the brisk iced tea ad that they had, it made me laugh because Adam Eve's actress was doing her part in it, and Mark had no lines because they couldn't afford Steven
I couldn't
Yeun for
afford it.
the commercial.
I'm
So
not
it
gonna
was
lie, guys. I don't have ads on mine because I upgraded.
oh my god.
All right, Corpo Rat, get
No,
out of my sight.
He caved.
technically, my mom's a corpo because I upgraded her subscription.
Why don't we talk about organized crime instead of corporations?
Yeah,
I
I
hate
like
this
that.
plot line, by the way.
You hate the Titan Mr. Liu machine head plotline?
I hate Mr. Liu. He
Okay,
should just
thank
be
you,
dead.
thank you. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Mr. Liu is so fucking boring.
Yeah.
Oh,
That old ass man should have
strong
been
guy
dead.
who can't get beat up, but is also not beating you up. Oh my god, you're so fucking boring.
His little bodyguard is funny though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd rather watch the bodyguard do stuff than him. How do you make me not want to see a big dragon fight stuff?
Yeah, this is another one of the things where
Big
I
dragon
think if
fight
they
stuff,
hadn't
but all he
repeated
does
it.
is body slam you. By the way, what?
Yeah, and he doesn't even he doesn't
No
do anything
fire
cool
breath,
with
no
it.
claw action. What are we doing?
He might be a fraud.
He was still
Mike?
able to beat Oliver up pretty hard.
Bro, I could beat up a 2-year-old too, bro. Come on.
Yeah, Aaron, are you telling me you'd have trouble beating up a 2-year-old?
Morally.
Well, I don't know if it's the
Morally,
morals that are the problem. I just haven't been hitting the gym very much.
Aaron versus a 2-year-old who wins.
I really liked that little one-off metal bender character that attacked Titan in the park. I thought he was pretty cool.
dude, he was more interesting than Mr.
Yeah,
Liu.
dude. His powers are more fun than what if I became a dragon but did nothing dragon except for fly around. They literally put a parade fucking float skin on top of a Viltrumite. That's literally it, bro. It's punch and kick, but he's wearing a different a giant blow up costume.
Both Titan and Liu seem like they got cooked kind of hard because they got forced back into the order by Machine Head, and the
I mean, I
teleporting
think
guy.
it's them just trying to put a bow on it and end that plot line.
Yeah, I think we'll see Titan again, but I don't think that we're gonna get any more of like Mr. Liu and that plot.
What pisses you off more, Mr. Liu or the sequids?
Honestly, for me, Mr. Liu, because I love dragons. How are you going to be a dragon and I'm not interested in anything you're doing?
I also hate Mr. Liu more.
No,
What?
there's just no way that the sequids are more interesting than Mr. Liu. Mr. Liu is not great, but
I don't think they are more interesting, but they're less aggravating, dude. Because it's like sequins are on my screen. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this to be over. Mr. Liu is on my screen. I'm like, oh, this is so fucking annoying. This motherfucker is so fucking boring.
Because he can't even be a dragon right. It's not that hard. Wings, fire.
And the crazy
uh,
part too is Mr. Liu is an actual person, but he also has no story.
yeah, for real, this dude.
yeah.
Plus, like the sequids, the one thing I will say is that they're kind of like a unique take on a hive mind. Like they have to have a human, like a sapient host to work, which I guess isn't that unique, but otherwise, them being mindless without a host is the unique
And
part,
at
I
least
guess.
there's a way to defeat the sequids. Mr. Liu is just like
Old age.
Mr. Liu, like what, they've never actually defeated him. They're like, oh, we killed him. Nope, he's actually alive still.
Speaking of the sequids being easy to kill, I almost threw my computer across the room when Rudy coughed up a sequid. I was like, there's no way we're doing this again. I can't fucking do it.
I'm glad we all thought that.
maybe Mark was right. Yeah, Rudy, shut up, you fucking annoying motherfucker.
If they just deleted Rudy from the show, it would be probably 25 to 30% better.
Bring Rex back. Like, for real. He should be the one coming back constantly, not fucking Mr. Liu or the sequids.
And with that, I would like to ask the question, does anyone have any final thoughts or plot points that we didn't bring up that we want to talk about before we start wrapping things up for the night?
No,
I don't even have any first thoughts, dude.
I'm ready for that. I'm
I don't
ready for the how
think.
we feel part.
All right, if you're so damn ready, why don't you start?
Okay. I think the pace for these 3 episodes has been really good. Unlike the previous season, it feels like the side stories and character development really is flowing with the show in a way that doesn't take you out of the main arcs. Going into Nolan's past and getting to see what happened to Viltrum was super cool. I don't know what to expect to see from Lee Pace, but so far I'm very happy. I do have to agree with Aaron. The first couple of times the sex jokes were pretty funny, but at some point it was just taking screen time I rather see being used on the actual story. Solid start to the season, and episodes were very entertaining. 8 out of 10.
Thank you. Richard, what do you got?
This was a pretty great start to the season for me. I'm glad that the conquest plot moved forward already. I was really hoping that we'd just get that so that we could see Thrag, we could see more of Viltrum, however, whatever. But it's also good to see how Mark has developed in like the time skip because it's been a couple months or whatever. I do agree with Aaron though about the side plots that he's gonna tell you about in a minute, and some of them really just need to be wrapped up soon. I think someone in the show actually said that we need to start dealing with these threats permanently, so maybe they will. But I'm excited for the rest of the season, and I gotta give the episodes an 8 out of 10, just like Chase.
2 8 out of 10s. I feel like the lone wolf over here. Yeah, man, I thought this first batch of episodes were pretty fun. They threw us right back into the action, moved along a lot of the right major plot lines. The voice cast just continues to be one of the best parts of the series, I think, especially with the introduction of some folks like Lee Pace. Yeah, I think that this cast has just always been stacked. I don't know how they can afford so much firepower, but I'm glad that they can. And even if it takes away from the animation a little bit, I'm okay with that. I do think that this show gets bogged down by rehashing old storylines from time to time, and the returning C plots are definitely not equal. Some of them are way more interesting than others, but overall, I'm really happy with these episodes and can't wait to see where this season is going to land. So I would say it's a solid 7 out of 10 for these 3 episodes. And with that, I think that we are going to be wrapping up for today. Before we let you guys go, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all the other podcasts in the network. First, the ones who make this all possible, our parent podcast, The Lorehounds. They are currently doing some coverage of The Pit. Alicia just wrapped up a bunch of Oscars coverage with some guests, and that was really good. So make sure you go and check all of that out. Also in the network are some really excellent podcasts like We'll Shift Dust, the Star Wars Canon Timeline podcast, Rings and Rituals, Properly Howard Movie Review, the Severance podcast, and Nevermind the Music. Links to all of those are also going to be in the description, as well as the info on how to get in touch with us. So, with that being said, thank you all for joining us, and we are looking forward to seeing you all very soon for the next 2 episodes of Invincible.